Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard this afternoon as we get set up to discuss the latest when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers. And let me tell you, today has been a wild ride. If you haven't been paying attention, Philip Broberg, the hottest name in Oilers media today. That seems odd because there really isn't much to talk about Philip Broberg. But again, with today's developments, there actually is. That said, the Oilers continue their hunt for a goaltender and potentially a defenseman and potentially a third-line center and potentially a depth-scoring winger and potentially you get where I'm going. But now with Philip Broberg entering the mix as a big-time trade chip because of today's developments, we'll be able to discuss a lot more of all that in a matter of moments. Before we get to that though, friends, if at any time you're enjoying the channel and hey, you know what, you think about hitting that subscribe button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Closing in on 1,250 subscribers to go to 15,000. I full well believe, and I'll look you in the face right now, that you guys have been great this year, and I believe we can hit 15,000 before we close out 2023. All right, to the first image. Ooh, what's this? Oh, wait, Tyson, you've already shown me this. Yes, I have. Earlier in the whole history of this Philip Broberg situation, we have this tweet from Jason Demers. Mind you, this is not 21 hours old. This is days old. At this point, let's go Oilers. Keeping Broberg is just ruining his career. Trade him in picks for a stud goalie or some players. I don't get it. They aren't developing him one bit. You can't do anything with 5 to 7 minutes of ice time a game if you're not a fighter. That was Jason Demers a week or two ago, sounding off on the Oilers. Yeah, the Oilers. Get this through. Ruining a high draft pick's career. Breaking news in oil country, I guess you could say. Obviously, for some of you, you would say that's exactly what we do. So, at the end of the day, whether you're camp, hey, you know what, Broberg hasn't turned out, or camp, Philip Broberg has been mistreated by the Edmonton Oilers so far, don't matter, because we have landed where we are today. And where we are today is this news about 6 hours ago from Kevin Weeks. He's told the Oilers are exploring potential trade options on young D Philip Broberg. Given the Oilers cap situation, it would likely be dollar in, dollar out transaction. That is what we're saying is you're probably looking at somebody between 800 to 950 in terms of salary. Broberg sitting, I think, at 862K this season against the Caps. So Kevin Weeks breaks big news today, and I mean it goes boom out there in the stratosphere of oil country, because my goodness, this is about the most bananas thing we could possibly have when all weekend, all break, we're talking about potentially trading for a goaltender or maybe Adam Boquist or somebody anywhere. And now all of a sudden you've got a young blue liner yourself in Philip Broberg now available to speak to other teams to request and seek a trade somewhere else. That is, of course, great news, right? This is where we're evolving. Then it's evolving over the course of the day. 46 minutes ago, the Athletic articles updated that Philip Broberg has played his last game for the Oilers, almost certain, and the 22-year-old defender is expected to move soon. If you read into the article a little bit more, Daniel Nugent-Bowman explains that it's more than likely to happen within the next week or so. Of course, I don't know how many times you have to tell me to tell you that the Oilers are about to do something soon. I'm getting tired of that myself, honestly. You know what? If it wasn't part of the whole shtick here on YouTube, clickbaity Oilers YouTuber talks about trade because it's good for views. If I didn't have to do that to get good views, you know, I probably wouldn't. But obviously, it's case in point. Everybody wants to talk about the Oilers making a trade because a lot of people will say bringing in an outside player is going to improve your team because the whole team's garbage. That's what a lot of people say about the Oilers. So a lot of people love discussing trades and rumors and stuff because who knows what's going to happen, and anything's better than what we have currently. That's at least always been the mentality in Edmonton so long as I've been a fan. So not to throw ourselves under the bus there, but then it gets even better, okay, friends? You're coming rip-roaring for an exciting afternoon of hockey. Well, then it gets better. Major issues in Edmonton. Woo! That's where the title comes from tonight, friends. That's exactly where it comes from. Ken Holland, tweeted from Ryan Rishaug, says he has not granted permission for Darren Ferris to shop for a Broberg trade. Holland, quoted as saying, I have not granted permission to Darren to shop Broberg. Ferris's response, this matter reflects both my and my client's frustrations with the Oilers. I'm actively collaborating with Ken to address and resolve the issue privately. And then Ryan Rishaug, reading the situation and giving us some thoughts for it, clearly there are major issues here between their first round pick and the organization. They have spoken multiple times in recent days. Things seem to have boiled over with today's developments. So you look at how I presented that all to you, right? You go from news today on Philip Broberg, right, from Kevin Weeks, to DNB sitting here saying it's going to happen in the next week or so, to Ryan Rishaug reporting straight from Ken Holland that there has been no permission granted, to Darren Ferris sitting here and calling out the Oilers for leaking a private matter, and now it's just major chaos in Edmonton. So here's where I go to it, is not to claim a victory doing that Jason Demers, Philip Broberg video a couple of weeks ago, but this is something we knew was likely to happen at some point this year based on what continued to happen with Philip Broberg, right? As he goes on that trip out east, barely gets any playing time. He's barely gotten any playing time this season. In fact, I wish I should have queued up some stats for Philip Broberg, to be honest with you. That would have been smart thinking, Tice. Oh, geez, that would have been great. Let's go over here, though, and go to the stats. Looks like Sportsnet has updated their website yet again. Always seem to do that quite regularly. Philip Broberg right now on the Edmonton Oilers, in terms of time on ice is how I want to sort it. He has, out of anyone that's played 10 minutes, 10 games, he's got the fourth least. James Hamblin with 7:49 a night. He's got 3 points, though. Adam Ernie with 8:05, Derek Ryan with 10:20, and Philip Broberg as a defenseman at 10:20 average time on ice. He's a -2. He's got no penalty minutes, no points, nothing to speak of. 4 shots on goal. That's it. That's really all for Philip Broberg. And when you look at it here from a standpoint of what his career's amounted to be so far, 6'4", 212-pound defender. This guy, I mean, he should be tough and mean in the corners, and he's not really at all. He's a guy who's compiled in a grand total of 79 games, 11 points over the course of his career. So this guy that we were supposed to see offensive dynamite from when he was drafted, and he has managed a .14 points per game over his career. Yes, he's a blue liner, but also a guy who's supposed to be able to shoot it and really make a difference on a power play one day. He has 65 shots on goal in 79 games played, averaging .1236 a night over his career, and shooting 3.1%. So not quite what you'd like to see out of a guy who was supposed to be that 1A, 1B option with a guy like, of course, Evan Bouchard, who's running the league's best power play last year, and now the league's one of the top 10 power plays in the NHL this year. So tough go for Philip Broberg, but major issues in Edmonton, and I'm going to be excited to see how this one pans out. Obviously, the trade rumors get him active because you thought we were in the market for a goalie. Well, now this package just got a whole lot more interesting, friends. I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Thanks so much for being aboard. I will update you a little later on if there's any more developments. Other than that, I've got a little something planned, maybe if I can make it happen here tonight. It is 6:10, and I don't want to kill the momentum here tonight. But I will catch you later on. I am up on out of here.